Okay, so I said that this will be the last part, and it actually is the last part for me, but for you guys, it's going to be two parts because it's just too long to put into one part. So there's going to be two additional parts of the prophetic word. So I just wanted to say that because I think I have said, as a part of this when I was recording the messages that it was going to be the last part, but there's going to be two additional parts. So this is the first one, and then there's one more. So at this point, I thought that the prophetic word was over. And it was over for several weeks, even after the God gave me that second part. Um, but he began to speak again just recently over the past week. So what I got was what seemed to be, I guess, a close up of one specific part of the vision. So what I was seeing was the moment right before he said enough. So his people were in this circle thing and they were being bullied by these imps. And so what the Lord was saying to me was that, we know in terms of just what God's called me to do and just the subject of divorce within Christianity, the people within the circle thing represent the people of God that are being hindered by the religious spirit that is, oppressing them and keeping them in unauthorized marriages. So God was saying to me that those people have been being oppressed. Okay, so for the interpretation that he was giving me about the prophetic word and who that word was for at the time was for the religious people. He was basically giving them a warning to let them know that, they're in error and that they're oppressing God, his people, and that he's getting ready to judge that, and they need to change their hearts before he does that. So this part of it was him speaking to the people that are being oppressed. So the first part was to the oppressors. The second part was this part now is for the people who are being oppressed. And so basically what the Lord is saying is that you've been in a season where you've been being oppressed. And I know that this is true for myself as well. When you're being oppressed in the area of marriage, we've talked a lot about the church and how the church comes against you and how you just kind of are persecuted and just made to feel like there's something wrong with you, God's mad at you, and all kinds of things. But when it comes to this, the bullying that he was talking about in when he was talking to me this time was not just that. It was from your own personal circle. So it could be your ex, it could be your in-laws, it could be just anybody that's in your close circle that is really bullying you and spiritually. So obviously as Christians we have to look at the spirit behind the person and not just the person. And so just think about that vision, in the circle thing, God said those people represented imps. And so it's the demonic spirits that are oppressing God's people. And so, but obviously they're working through people. And so God was basically saying is that it's just been a season of just being bullied, of just you're trying everything you can with the situation that you're being dealt to move forward in God, to move forward as a mother, to move forward as a new single person, to just move forward in your faith, and you have just been bullied, just pushed back down, pushed back down, pushed back down. And every situation is different. I don't know what your situation is. I don't know who it is in your life that has been having you just pouncing on you and making you feel worse than you already do, being in such a vulnerable situation. But the Lord was basically saying that this has been going on for a long time, where his people have been being oppressed, and it's not just they're being oppressed by the church, but they're getting oppressed by people in their own circle. And so what he was saying is that he basically zoomed me into that moment of the vision where right before he said enough. And so at that moment he said enough, and the water started coming, and the people within the circle thing started getting lifted up out of it. Now, when they first got lifted out of it, they were panicking. They felt like they were going to drown. They felt like, the water was coming so fast and it's so high and so strong, they felt like they were going to drown. And so, you guys, I went back and found that message where the Lord was talking about my life, and he was talking about the hurricane. So it feels like that. It feels like it's chaos. It feels like just you just don't have solid footing, and you can't get solid footing. So I don't know if you've ever been in that situation where if you've ever rode a wave, you can't touch the bottom of the pool, and so, or the bottom of the ocean, and so there's that moment of just, you don't really have control, and you feel like you can't get your footing. And so the Lord was basically saying that that's where you are, is that you've been in that season where not only have you been being attacked, but just things in your life just feel like it's chaos, and it feels like just everything is just falling apart and crumbling. But it's really just that water being lifted up that's getting you out of that situation and getting ready to put you in a place of, okay, you were being oppressed and you were the victim, but you're getting ready to be the warrior. And so he drew me into that scene where, it was like so fast. It was like in an instant. And so the water has been building and building and building, and it's flowing out now to where you're out of it. And so in an instant, God's people went from feeling like they couldn't get their footing to there's like this blue electrical current that started to go through their body. So it started at their feet and it started to rise up their body, and it was just this blue current, and it just continued to rise up their whole body, and it goes through their whole body. But the last part that it went through was their arm, and they had a sword. And so God was telling me that current is him. That current is, what I was telling you that he was getting ready to do, that he's getting ready to bring judgment, and he's getting ready to separate the wheat from the tare. I saw that current where it was just basically rising up and almost to the point where it was going through the arm. And so as I saw that vision, I got the following message. It's time, my people. It's time. Get up. Take hold of the handle of the sword. Get a good grip. Strengthen your arm and get ready to swing the sword. And so I saw this electrical pulse coming through the entire body, and it started to rise up the whole body, where it got towards the sword. And the Lord was saying that when it gets to the sword, it'll be time for war. And he said that the enemy won't get a warning. So it's like it'll be so fast from the time that the current starts to the time that it gets to the sword, he won't realize that the switch has flipped, and it'll be that quick. And so it says that when he realizes, he will turn and run, but it will be too late. He said, pick up the sword. It's time for the violent to take it by force. Rise up. He's filling us with boldness and a righteous anger. He's separating you from the lukewarm, because they can't be too close when you start wielding the sword. You'll go from lion to lamb from lamb to lion in an instant. And those that are too close, that don't have God's heart, God-given destiny, and they won't understand. Many of us have had our destiny derailed by an ungodly marriage, which has left us broken and hurting. And see the salvation. We stay in verbally, physically, and emotionally abusive marriages for fear that God will be mad at us, or that will ruin our kids' lives if we get a divorce. Most times, these fears are based in unbiblical scare tactics. I'm dedicated to shedding light on these lies and helping you experience freedom through divorce. My online school explores the truth about marriage, divorce, and the Bible, and I offer one-on-one life coaching for those who are seeking godly counsel unique to their specific situation. To learn more, subscribe to my channel, enroll in my authorized divorce online course, and/or visit my website and book a 1-hour coaching session with me. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your support. Please consider leaving a comment, sharing, and liking this video. Also, this channel content is made possible by generous subscriber donations. To donate, use the link in the description.